Welcome to the Winter 2021-22 School Council meeting. Sorry we've still got to do most of our meetings virtually. Hopefully by the end of the year we'll be back to face-to-face meetings. So I'm Dr. Loden, principal at Camden County High School. With me today we have Joy Martin. She's the instructional curriculum leader for secondary schools here in Camden County, both middle school and high school, and she's also our 9th grade center deputy principal. And Miss Cynthia Brantley, she is our math lead teacher. So we'll all be going over some data today of what we got on our first semester test scores. First, here's our agenda, which we normally have an agenda and we go over when we do face-to-face meetings. But as you can tell, I'm Dr. Loden, and then our chairperson for our school council is Miss Jennifer Coppage. She's not here, but she's our chairperson. And so our agenda today, as you can see here on this slide. We'll just get right into the data real quick. This is our 2021 fall semester EOC data. First up is going to be Miss Martin. She's going to go over American literature.
Hi, I'm Joy Martin, and I will be going over the winter end of course assessment for American literature. Camden County High School 2021-22 winter end of course assessment. This data does not include retests, and I will continue with our data review for American literature. First, we have our pass rate. This year we had 89% of our students score 2 and above, which is our pass rate for American literature. Last year at this time, first semester, we had 90% of our students scoring 2 and above, which is passing on American literature assessment. I do want to note at this time that last year, students who were enrolled in dual enrollment did not have to take the end of course assessment. This year is the first year that all students enrolled in American literature, including those enrolled in dual enrollment, did have to take the assessment. Continuing on, we analyzed our proficient and distinguished data. These are students scoring 3 and above. Last year we had 56% of our students scoring at 3 and above. This year we had 54% of our students scoring 3 and above. This slide represents all achievement levels. Please note that last year, again, I want to point out that students, though it does include dual enrollment scores, their score is reflected in what they actually made in their physical class. For this year, dual enrollment students did have to take the assessment. As you can see, we had 315 students test, and 8% of those students scored at a level 4. And 46% of those students scored at a level 3. I also want to remind everyone that last year we also had virtual students taking the assessments, so we're comparing, this data does include both virtual and face-to-face students in winter 2020. Right score is a formative assessment that our literature teachers use in 9 through 11. That mirrors the Georgia Milestones assessment. It includes standards and rubrics that align with the assessment. The data that we use is used to pinpoint strengths and weaknesses, and the tools that teachers are provided afterwards is to address those strengths and weaknesses. Today I will be sharing the 11th grade right score assessment data for first semester. As you can see, 189 students scored average on this assessment, and 73 students scored above average on this assessment. These assessments are writing assessments, and they are sent out for someone else to score and send back to our students in order to provide a less subjective results than just their teacher scoring them. This first assessment is representative of informative and explanatory writing. The second is argumentative writing. Again, this is 11th grade. We had 170 students score in the average range, and 95 students score above average. Our critical issue for American literature is the 2021 end of course data revealed that 60% of students scored at the proficient and distinguished levels in American literature, as indicated on the American Literature end of course state assessment. Our objective is to increase the percentage of students performing at the proficient and distinguished on the American Literature assessment by 3%, which will move our students from 60% to 63% of students scoring proficient or above. For the first semester, we are 9% below that, but we are optimistic that by the end of the year, we will reach that objective. Thank you.
I'm Cynthia Brantley, and I'm going to be talking about the coordinate algebra pass rate. If you look at the screen, the coordinate algebra pass rate for this year was 89%. We went up from last year at the same time, which was 85%. There was a decrease from 2020 to 2021 due to the COVID year. We were at 96%. We plan on getting our 89% back up to a 96% or higher. Looking at the proficient and distinguished test scores, the 3s and 4s, we went up from a 51% to a 66% from winter 2021 to winter 2022. Here we look at all the achievement levels, 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, comparison between winter 2020 and winter 2021. You can see the number of test takers did increase from 267 to 307. And our pass rate for 2, 3s, and 4s went from 85% to 89%. And our proficient and distinguished testers were 51% to 66%. So the math department data performance review. Our strategies for our improvement include remedial learning in small groups during the school year, as well as providing opportunities outside of the school day to address deficiencies. We have 2 contracted tutors during the school days. We have services to coordinate algebra students. We have 221 students identified in the remedial education program, and we also service our students at the ombudsman. Teachers are providing remediation tutoring opportunities before and after school, Saturday school, and while our workout Wednesdays. Strategy number 2. We still continue to use FBV tutoring program for individual at-home tutoring to close those skills gaps. These are on teacher recommendations and parent requests. Strategy 3, we still administer frequent standard-based formative assessments to monitor our students' progress and outside of the outside class time remediation to address individual students' deficiencies. We can look at the comparison between 2021 and 21-22 for Unit 1 Mastery Assessment for coordinate algebra. We're also showing you Unit 2 Mastery comparison for those 2 years. And here is Unit 3A. So our goal is to increase the student's average score on the formative assessments by 3% from fiscal year 21 to fiscal year 22. So our critical issue, the 2021 ELC data revealed that 45% of our students scored at proficient and distinguished levels in math as on the coordinate algebra end of course assessment. So our goal is to increase the percentage of students performing at proficient or distinguished learner levels in math from a 45% to a 48%. At this time, we're at a 66%, which is above our projected average. But we have to consider that we still have students to test in second semester.
Okay, I'm going to go back real quick, and Ms. Brantley's being a little humble, and so is Ms. Martin as far as these coordinate algebra scores. Our coordinate algebra ELC is a 9th grade. Most of the 9th graders take that. So it's their first ELC when they get into high school. Ms. Martin started a bridge program this summer. We brought a bunch of 8th graders in during summer school, the ones that possibly were struggling on their tests in math in middle school. So we brought them in this summer. Miss Martin started this program, got a number of students to come in, and they tutored them all summer to try to get them ready for this coordinated algebra EOC. And we have, in the past 3 years, our whole coordinate algebra teaching staff has overturned. So it's mostly new teachers, not maybe new to the profession, but new to Camden County Schools, learning our system, learning the EOC program. So with what Ms. Martin and Ms. Brantley have done in the past couple years to get scores that right now are 18 percentage points above what our goal is at the end of the year, I mean, I think it's a pretty phenomenal job what they've done so far. So congratulations to them. All right, so moving forward with biology, you can see last year we had an 83% pass rate overall. This year we had an 84% pass rate overall. And as you already know, and if you don't know, at Camden County High School, we try to increase the rigor in our classrooms. So our goal is to get as many people to pass the test, but our bigger goal is to get more students to get 3s and 4s, meaning distinguished and proficient. So we're trying to increase the rigor in the classroom. So that's where our goals, when you see in our action plans, are not just pass rate, it's students that are performing at the level 3s and 4s. With biology, this is not one of our action plans, so but you can see we did go up 2 percentage points in levels 3s and 4s in biologies from last year compared to this year in the fall. Biology is mostly a sophomore level class. We do have a few freshmen taking biology, the ones that took physical science back in 8th grade. But it's mostly a sophomore level class. So this is their second EOC since they've been in high school. So right now we're above where we were last year. We're hoping for a very strong second semester, but you can look at the data compared at each level with this slide. So you can see we're pretty much right on where we need to be, but we of course we want better scores second semester. When you look at U.S. history, we did dip a little bit in U.S. history. This U.S. history is generally a junior level class, the only social studies EOC that the students take. We did go down in our pass rate by 2% from an 85 to an 83%. Hopefully second semester will bring that up. It's good for the teachers to see the data. It kind of puts a little pep in their step too. And with Mr. Phillips, who's in charge of the social studies department, he puts a little pressure on them when he sees a little dip in the score. So a little pressure is good sometimes. We did go up in proficient and distinguished. So as you can see here, we went up by 3 percentage points. And again, that's what our main goal is, increase rigor in the classrooms. But again, both, we want more kids to pass and more kids to get 3s and 4s. So U.S. history did a pretty good job looking for a better second semester. And here you can see the scores compared at each level in the winter exams. And again, all this data we just showed you is without retest. All the kids that don't pass the exam, we do have contracted service tutors where they get with their regular teachers after school, before school, Saturday school, and they remediate and get them ready for retest. So that should happen sometime, Ms. Martin, in March.
It is
Correct. It is in March. Okay, so in March we'll do the retest, and hopefully these scores will jump a little bit. So NIMSI, this is the National Math Science Institute. This is our second year as part of being a NIMSI school. We joined this organization in an effort to increase the number of students taking AP exams in both science, math, and they added American or literature in there too, as far as one of the NIMSI subjects. But we want more students taking AP exams, and we want better scores on AP exams and more people taking the test. So we joined this organization. You can see I'm on the list. Dr. Cato from the Board of Education, she's working with it. Ms. Martin, of course, Ms. Brantley, and Ms. Walker, she's our guidance counselor that works with the NIMSI group. We have a number of teachers on that. We're trying to increase the number of teachers. With COVID and all, the teacher participation rate, it's kind of dropped because they weren't able to go to the trainings because trainings were canceled. And so the ones that were able to go to the training because of the COVID stuff and the travel stuff, they're on here. Again, this is our second year doing it. And last year, one of the incentives they gave us, and students, there's a class of students in here listening, so I want to say this. One of the incentives they gave us last year is they gave us $18,000 to give away as far as student incentives. And all the students had to do is be in an AP class, a NIMSY AP class, whether it's math, science, or literature. And if they were in that class and they were performing well, getting all their work in and trying to excel in the class, we were able to give out 36 $500 scholarships. And it was just people in the class. They didn't have to have already signed up for the test or anything. There wasn't any other qualifications other than just being in an AP class, a NIMSY, a math or science. So next year when y'all sign up for classes, make sure you get into a NIMSY class because we've got the grant or the incentive again this year. So that's one good thing that they did with us. And they also paid for or reimbursed the students who took the exam. They reimbursed 50% of their exam price, which helped out a lot. Those are both incentives to try to get more kids not only to take the AP exams or to take the AP classes, but also to take the exams. So this has been a good partnership with NIMSY for us. We got one more year on the partnership, and hopefully they'll extend it, and that's what we're working for. Our last action plan is student social and emotional well-being. And our goal here at the high school as far as our action plan is to 3% of the student population last year, according to the data that we keep, needed social and emotional support. And we're trying to decrease that amount. And when you look at the numbers, they're kind of shocking. But I'll go over some of the strategies that we're doing to try to help the numbers. All the faculty, beginning of the year, new faculty and old, have to take suicide awareness training. We do that during the first pre-planning days of the school year in faculty meetings. Everybody goes through it, and everybody who's been here and everybody who's new goes through it. So we have 100% participation in that. We're trying to increase the number of our students in the SAD Club. SAD Club is Students Against Destructive Decisions. And our goal here at the high school and our philosophy is the more the kids are involved in, the better off their high school experience is going to be. They get different groups of friends and they're involved in different activities, and whether it's athletics or fine arts or Skills USA, some of the CTAE clubs or any of the other clubs that we offer, there's something here for everybody. So we're hoping everybody gets involved in something. So just getting students involved, we're hoping will help. And we have a Securely Alert program, so y'all listen to this also, that, and then you probably already know, everything they do on their Chromebooks, if there's a red flag that comes up, a certain word they search or somebody they're having a communication with and it's an off-color communication that's inappropriate, all those things get flagged and sent to administration, and then the administrators call the students up and find out what's going on and make parent contact. So that's a couple of the strategies we're using here at the high school to try to cut down on the numbers of students having social and emotional issues. With all those strategies we're doing, if you look here at the numbers at this slide, all the numbers have doubled almost. Last year, critical number of students, we had 43. This year, first semester, we had 74. When you say critical number of students, we had 57 students the first semester who either had suicidal ideations or or attempted suicide. 57 students. It's up from 27 last year. We had 25 students who actually attempted suicide. That's up from 9 students last year, first semester. So those numbers, as you can see, they're disheartening. When you look at the numbers that were identified to us by Securely, which is the program that we monitor their Chromebooks with, you can see we only had 6 Securely alerts that dealt with those students. We get multiple Securely alerts daily, but only 6 of them dealt with the suicide. what we're doing is getting recommendations or referrals to counselors through other means, whether it's a friend, a student, a parent, teacher, everybody that, all the teachers again went through the training to try to identify it, and they'll refer students. We do have a number of students that get referred through, believe it or not, discipline referrals. Once you get in and start talking to the students and getting statements, or something might be going on with that discipline referral that makes us have to call some students up. So we get referrals in many different ways, but you can see only 6 of those 74 were from securely alerts. So it doesn't look like a lot, but it is. 6 is better than none. So we are continuing to work on this, and we have a guidance counselor, Ms. Dana Lindsay, Dr. Lindsay. She deals pretty much 100% of her time with dealing with these students. Sources of Strength is an activity we did, and we got state recognition through the Georgia Department of Education. All the students were given a strand of beads, kind of like what they do at Mardi Gras, and the students were told to give it to an adult that they feel that they can go to, or someone they trust, or someone that they really care for, someone that's been helping them through getting through high school, through their grades or their classes or whatever, helping them with any issues that they have. So it was a great activity. I finally got some beads this year, but it's kind of neat activity, but we got state recognition. With a lot of the coaches, which they deal with the students on different levels, both in the classroom and through athletics. They were loaded up, and there's a couple coaches you can see on the slide that got a bunch of beads. Schoolwide Accomplishments, that's all for our data. I'm just going to go over a couple quick slides in Schoolwide Accomplishments we had first semester. Our star student was Violet Reed. The way we pick our star student is the highest SAT score, and she had the highest SAT score for the school. The star student gets to pick the star teacher, and she picked Tracy Nicolai. She teaches them literature for the students. So that's how we pick our star student, and it was Violet Reed. That's a huge accomplishment, and her SAT score was a 1565, I think. Pretty high score when you look at 1600 being a perfect score. Our band and the chorus, they went to Hawaii over Christmas. Well, it was right before Christmas for the Pearl Harbor Memorial. It was a 50th anniversary, so it was a great opportunity for our students to go over there. Here's a picture of a couple veterans. What happened this day, and that's why I kind of wanted to show the picture, is they had a scheduled luau, and of course, we go over to Hawaii and it snows in Hawaii and rained the whole time. So unfortunately they didn't get the best weather, but they made the best of it. But their luau one day got canceled, so the hotel brought all the food into the lobby. The kids all were down in the lobby eating and fellowshipping together and spending some time. And some veterans came in, and here's a couple of the veterans. And Miss Wolf, our course director, she got a couple of the course students together, and they started singing to them, and they said there wasn't a dry eye in the place. So it was a great experience for the kids, not only to go to Hawaii and go on a vacation and miss a couple school days, but also to witness and see what these veterans actually went through over there, and they had a parade and everything. Our ROTC had a winter ball. They do it every year, and it's a huge ordeal, and then Master Chief Chapman puts it on. He's been coordinating this for years, but this was the best one yet. And you can see here some pictures of the students there. It's very classy, and it's a sit-down dinner. They have to dress up. They had some giveaways here. He plays Santa Claus and gives away money. And there's a couple more pictures. They do King and Queen of each grade level, which was pretty neat. So great job with the ROTC ball. Master Chief Bell, Mr. Chief Chapman is retiring this year, so Master Chief Bell's got some big shoes to fill next year to try to get this thing going. Had our Miss Wildcat pageant, and Asha Bass was Miss Wildcat this year. She did a great job. Did a speaking, as far as her talent, did a speaking piece, which was phenomenal. But she's going to represent Camden County High School very good. And we also had 3 individual state champions. Of course, our wrestling team won another state championship again this year. It's the 9th one in a row, but it's 10 we've won, but 9th one in a row. Just Coach Wilder and Coach Metters and Coach Alfa, they do a phenomenal job. And now with Coach Durham added back to the state, they do a great job. And you know, to win 9 straight in this state is a pretty huge accomplishment. But here's the 3 state individual champions. I'll put a picture up here. Kamari Johnson down at the bottom. This was his first, but the other 2, Weaver and the other Riley, this is their 2nd time winning, so they're 2-time champions. So great job, Coach Wilder and the wrestling program again. We also had, which I don't have a slide on here, it just happened this past weekend, the rifle team. We have a shooting team here at school. They won the national championship, a national championship, at the Navy Nationals in Anniston, Alabama this past week. And we had 3 shooters score in the top 20 in the nation. So that's a pretty huge accomplishment. One of our first national championships. Our first one with a GHS SH competing school or team. But it's a huge accomplishment. Colonel Banna is in charge of that shooting group. In March, they're going to Ohio to shoot in the all-service nationals. So hopefully they do a good job there. It's a lot tougher to do the all-service national championship, but they did win the Navy national championship. Huge accomplishment. So congratulations to them. Well, hopefully we'll get to do these meetings face-to-face from now on, and hopefully you are happy with the scores we got. We're happy, but we're not satisfied. So we're going to work a lot harder. The teachers are working a lot harder, collaborating together to bring these scores up for 2nd semester. If you ever need anything or have any questions with us at the high school, feel free to call. If you have a 9th grade student, of course, call Miss Martin. But if you have any upper level issues from 10 through 12, give me a call, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you for attending, and we'll see you. Bye.
Hi, we're going to talk about eSPLOS today, Educational Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. In order to do that, we need to talk about the essential question and challenge that faces the school district when we're making decisions regarding funding. We need to face the fact that we have to address the declining financial resources that school districts face today, as well as the needs of the faculty. And we need to do that while ensuring a high level of learning and to provide a safe and healthy environment for all of our students and staff. Now, the challenge to that is being able to do all of those things while maximizing the resources that are currently available for the school district. Public school districts have 3 sources of funding: state, local, and federal. When we talk about local funding, that includes your property taxes, local property taxes, surplus sales, and it also would include any interest or miscellaneous revenue that may be available to school districts. State funding is generated each year by the full-time equivalent count, which means that we are funded based on the students that we're serving and the level of their services, such as special education, career tech, and agricultural, as well as your kindergarten, elementary, or secondary education. Federal funding would be federal grants, as well as our impact aid, which our community is very familiar with. You'll notice on the PowerPoint today that the majority of the funding that comes to Camden County Schools is in the form of the state funding. That is something that we're very proud of because we try to utilize the state funding more so than we do our local or federal funding. So eSPLOS is an opportunity for our community to support our needs for capital improvements with the use of a 1-cent sales tax. That means that the voters in the community must approve that 1-cent sales tax, which we currently do have because our community has been very supportive for the last 3 opportunities that we've brought this to a vote and a ballot. What our purpose is today is to simply share with you some of the things that have been done with those funding sources and also outline for you the needs that we have in the future. When we talk about eSplosh, we want you to know that it can be used for renovations and construction, furniture, school buses, technology. What it cannot be used for is personnel. It also could be used to reduce the debt of any school district in Georgia. We're very proud of the fact that our school district currently has no debt at all because we only pay as we go. We do not incur debt on behalf of our community or our school district. Some of the things that we have done with our eSplosh funding that we have been provided in the past are renovations. Renovations are things such as air conditioning units, painting, fire extinguisher systems, anything that makes our system safer and cleaner and healthier for our students and staff. We also have new construction, technology. We have school buses, textbooks, furniture, infrastructure, which can include our parking lots and our walkways for safety there as well. We also have needs for things for our career and technical departments that we have, which includes your ROTC, your fine arts. We have also culinary arts. Those are programs that also have specific needs, and we have been able to fund those through the generosity of the community with their support for the eSplosh expenditures. So the question often comes up, would this be an additional 1 cent sales tax? And the answer is no. We cannot have more than one at a time. So this would just be a request in the community at some point for a continuation of that 1 cent. Some of the technology information that we would like to share today, just to give you a sideline of what we have done with that eSplosh funding. Over 15,000 computers and Chromebooks have been placed in our school system in various schools from K through 12. We also have created a refresh cycle, which is why our students are able to see that they're able to receive newer Chromebooks on a cycle rather than having the same Chromebooks that were placed in the school 10 years ago. We're only able to do that because of our eSplosh funding. High-stakes testing is handled online because of this availability. We also, with our funding, have been able to secure firewalls that prevent technology hacking and provide safe information for our students and our staff. Some of the more detailed categories of technology have been networking, installations, the hardware, the Chromebooks, security cameras, printers, smart boards, laptops, desktops, and our firewall hardware. You'll take a note that we have already come to look at, based on our review, from 2023 to 2027, we have $66 million worth of additional construction and capital needs. And so we've outlined those for you, that they would include additional renovations at the schools that have not currently been renovated, new construction, infrastructure and land improvements. The technology refresh would continue. We would have transportation, buses and equipment that would be replaced with more current, moderate and safe busing opportunities for students. We would have textbooks and also equipment and furnishings that would encompass that $66 million. As far as our eSplosh needs, you'll be able to see that we've talked before about our capital renovations. HVAC units, painting and flooring, those are always the obvious. What may not be obvious is in those renovations, we have extensive updates that have taken place and will need to take place in other schools with restrooms, roofs, the walkway canopies, or even gutters in our system that are in disarray and need to be repaired and replaced. We have window replacements, and we also have at Camden Middle School the need for a music program expansion. Well, these renovations will allow for that. We also have drainage, landscaping, and parking lot needs. The new construction that we specifically have at this time are the new wing at Sugar Mill Elementary School. There's also an outdoor learning facility at the high school, and we also have the CTAE instructional facility that we'll be placing in this eSplosh. So these are new projects that we would not be able to look into without the eSplosh support of our community. We also have instructional band program that has a need for the semi-truck and trailer for transporting our instruments for our students with their various performances out of the county. We're very transparent about our eSplost expenditures and revenues. So you've been provided with the website where you can review the financial reports that are presented each month to our Board of Education, and it outlines all of the projects and expenditures that we have had for past projects, as well as the budgets that have currently been approved but not yet completed. So the big question comes in, when would we be asking the public to hopefully consider our needs and know that we would be asking at some point for another support of another referendum? May 24th of 2022, there will be an opportunity for the community to decide whether or not they would like to support us and help with the needs that we've outlined previously today. And again, this would be the continuation, not an additional 1 cent sales tax. So as we move forward and wrap this session up today, we would like to just show you a few of the things that we have that have been completed already with the previous eSplost. So you'll notice that at the high school, we have all watched for many years now as the Fine Arts Center has been being renovated and updated. So included in that, there are new theaters, there are art classrooms, there's chorus rooms, dance studio, and band rooms as well. There's also at Crooked River, there was renovations that provided a safer entrance for security purposes. There are painting, there are upgrades to the walls, the flooring, as well as our restrooms. At Matilda Harris, a new wing is now underway and will be completed this summer so that the new year will begin with additional classrooms which will allow for social distancing of the students there, as well as there are updating to the playground, and as well as painting and renovations, and they also have the new enclosure at the front for safety and security for entrances for our students and staff. Mary Lee Clark, you'll see new flooring, new painting, new entrances, and new bathroom facilities, and new surfaces have been there that are safer and cleaner and easier to ensure that the germs and the things that we all worry about now as a result of the COVID situation will allow us to provide the safer environment for them. Woodbine Elementary, we had carpeting, VCT flooring, paint. We've upgraded the air conditioning units for better air quality, restrooms, the drainage, the foam insulation, tiles in the ceilings, as well as windows. And with that, we close today to let you know if you have any questions about the eSplost expenditures that we have had in the past or that we will have needs for in the future, please feel free to give me a call at our central office, and my contact information is provided. Thank you and have a wonderful day.